I'm talking about their shitty fucking battles. Fuck, I'd like watch some YouTube videos of the Japanese version with like the battles.
Yeah.
It's like the dumbest fucking music. I'm sorry, it's fucking terrible. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's not that hype. It's like
yeah.
like when Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time.
Like,
in the Japanese version, it's like na-na-na, like it's so okay.
So fucking bad. I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Anime Summit podcast. Week after week, we're bringing you the good stuff on all that is the animes. I am your host, Sam. I was trying to think of something else that rhymes with my name that's not Bomb, Mom, or Turkey Tom, because that's what I always say.
Sam the Cromulent.
Somnambulism.
All right, whatever. Sam the Brom, Bomb, Trom, Chom? Sam the Chom.
Chom down.
All right.
Everyone chom down. We're here now.
We're off to a great start.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what I do every
Just
week.
edit out all of our silences.
No, just fine. No, it's because I say it all the time. Okay, anyway, with me is my two favorite anime bitches, Nick, Too Slick.
Oh, that's mine. Put your grasses on, nothing will be wrong. That's what I wrote on the show sheet. Shout out to Berserk.
Danny.
You don't have to say that. I just put that on there. Oh my god.
That's one
There
of the
we
greatest
go.
anime openings. That's one of the greatest anime.
Yeah, Lion
openings
King is
ever.
pretty good anime.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
dude. Did anybody else like feel a little tingle when Simba and Nala were like about to do it? Is that just me?
Oh, God.
Oh my
It's not my
God.
fault they drew those lines so sexy.
I am. I am super excited about today's episode because it involves music, and you know that I am a musician and I love music, and I like to do stuff, and
I like to do stuff.
I like to do stuff. So today's topic, we are talking about the soundtracks to some animes, and what are our favorite soundtracks? What are some that we like? Obviously, we probably do another episode of this in the future. Because we're
just
Nick
spotlighting
had like
some stuff.
Nick had like a list of 20 different soundtracks.
I had 100.
And obviously I
You
have
had too
way
Everything
more.
I've ever seen.
You had too much.
Obviously the three of us, like together, we could probably talk like we probably have a list of like a good couple hundred soundtracks that we love, but we're not going to do that. So we picked three that we really liked, and we also picked a couple to mention maybe towards the end or something. And we're just going to talk about soundtracks and how they power the anime that we love and all that stuff. Now, you probably are wondering what makes a good soundtrack. Well, we'll tell you after Nick tells us the news.
Oh, damn. I'm just thinking of that Fiddler on the Roof scene. It's like, I'll tell you. I don't know. And he just walks away.
Yeah. But I'll find out.
So yeah, the news. Not a lot happened. There's a Reddit thread about how anime prices are high, and they're like, oh, our DVD sales only made up a little bit of percent of our money now, and then people were calling them out saying it's bullshit, and
It is bullshit.
I don't know why I have this in the news. It's not really news. It's just Kyoto Animation said that, or not Kyoto Animation. Twin Engine's president Koji Yamamoto says that home video sales are only about 10% of the sales now, which makes sense. If you look at those charts that they released for last year for the anime, you see all these like little bar graphs and like the chunks of all the revenue. A lot of it's with like merchandise and streaming and all that. A little bit of home video. But yeah, I mean, they price everything like $70 for the 3 episodes, so it's like how many people can really buy that? You know? I don't know. Just makes sense. Because streaming, everything's online now. Put it in the cloud. That's what I say. Yeah, and then, it's like this whole little thing. I kind of skimmed the thread. Everybody hates Aniplex. Business as usual. So, yeah.
Damn.
Fuck
kinda
Aniplex.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fuck Aniplex.
what they do, they do the same thing that like Japan does, where they just jack up the price on everything. If you want to buy Kill la Kill, boom, a couple $100. Like fuck, I can just buy a whole season of Game of Thrones for like $40 or less. You know,
Right, like just go down to the Target
ridiculous.
right quick. Yeah.
And that's Game of Thrones costs like millions of dollars per episode to make. Kill la Kill didn't even cost that much. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like I don't know. So yeah, fuck Aniplex. Next piece of news. There's a Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress film has been announced, and that was the Attack on Trains anime that came out. Was that over a year ago? Was that 2016? I think it was.
I think it was beginning of 2017.
No. It was 2016 for sure, because Attack on Titan was last year.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
And that was like the zombies with trains and Mume. Yeah, so it's gonna have another film that takes place at the end of the series. So it's gonna be pretty fucking sick. I can't wait. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's not like a lot. There's no like release date yet or anything. They just kind of, announced a couple of the staff. So Tetsuro Araki will reprise his role as the director. So that's good. Cool. All right. Next piece of news, last one we got is Yu Hakusho is getting a new spin-off story, like OVA type thing.
Nice.
This one doesn't have that much news either, really.
The only thing I read about it so far is that it's supposed to be about Hiei and Kurama.
Yep.
Cool.
Which is like, that's kind of cool. But I was kind of hoping it was like an after something, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. But like, I thought it was going to involve at least all four spirit detectives.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
can't have everything, I guess. But
You
yeah, no, it's cool either way.
Always get what you want.
What you want. Yeah, no, I totally get it. But yeah, that's pretty sick. I'm excited for that.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. Yu Hakusho, good fucking show with a pretty good soundtrack, I think. So we didn't list it though.
Link in the show.
Maybe we should have. All right.
Maybe we
moving on to Waifu and Husbando of the week. These are real people this time. Not little lollies for once.
Yeah, our waifu and husbando of the week aren't anime characters for once. Our waifu is Yoko Kanno, the composer best known for Cowboy Bebop, and Hiroyuki Sawano, who is like
does a ton of stuff.
All
of his songs have like drops. It's just like
he's great. I think we will.
I like it.
We will mention him a couple times later on, for sure. But that being said, you know what else that we'll mention, and maybe also you guys should mention on Twitter. You should mention @Anime Summit, because you should follow us and be like, hey, what up, Twitter? Anime Summit. @Anime Summit. We tweet stuff. We tweet when new episodes come out. We tweet when we divorce our current waifu and husbando and remarry to a new waifu and husbando. And then you should also go to youtube.com/Anime Summit and hit the sub button. Even if you don't listen to us on YouTube and you listen to us on like a podcast app, you should still go over there and sub and hit the bell. Hit the little bell in the upper right corner.
Finger blast that bell icon.
And then you should go to YouTube and also search for Anime Summit Extra. Sub to that, hit the little bell icon, because we're putting Let's Plays and vlogs and all kinds of other stuff there very soon. And now that it's spring and summertime, we're going to be vlogging a lot more and doing a bunch of more cool bitchin' stuff there. So you should go follow all that, and then leave us a review on any of those podcast apps that you're listening on, and leave us a review on iTunes, because they're very helpful, and we love reading them on the show.
We gotta read those. Did we read all the new ones yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I think me and Danny did on an app where you were sick.
We read thousands. We have thousands of them. Thousands and thousands of reviews for us. We're just
hey,
that
you know
big.
what, too? If you want to give us a review, too, that's like on Twitter, you can do it on Twitter, too. Just @Anime Summit. And
but
then
preferably iTunes, because that like boosts us up, doesn't it?
It does, actually. Yeah.
I'll do
so
both.
Preferably.
Maybe
Even if you don't
tweet
listen
at
to
us
us
and
on
tell
iTunes,
us you did the iTunes thing.
just, yeah, we know you have an iPhone. Don't be a bitch, okay? So there you go. Do that. Do all that stuff. Contact info. There you go. And then also, if you want to follow each of us on Twitter, you can. Normally, I am caught retweeting Anime Summit stuff, so you can catch me there. And then I'm at Phantasma Justera. Danny is Dancing Danny 90, and Nick is Blind Freeman. So you should go on there and follow us on Twitter and look at all my emo tweets because I'm mad about everything. and when I get mad, I cry.
Yep.
I'm one of those people where when I get mad, I cry because I'm like fucking mad that I'm like upset that I'm mad. So then I have to cry.
Mad.
Like I hate it when people do stuff. It's like, God, shut up.
Sam turns
Anyway.
into a kawaii anime girl with those giant bubbly tears and like pounds your fists on everybody. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I do when I get mad. Because because your girl got a short fuse. Anyway, let's move on to the topic of the night, which is original soundtracks, OSTs, music that powers the anime that powers the music. How does the soundtrack enhance the show? That's a question we gotta ask. What is the original soundtrack? The soundtrack is the music that you hear when you're watching the anime. Not just the opening and ending, but the music that you're hearing when people are fighting each other or kissing each other or holding hands. Gasp, holding hands. And
Oh god.
things
Now
like-
we're 18 plus.
now we gotta put it explicit content. Sometimes soundtracks are done the average way, and what I mean by the average way is that there's a composer and they have a team of musicians that arrange music, kind of like, not like a quartet or a string quartet or anything like that, but like, whatever. And there's tense moments and there's no vocals. Sometimes there's animes where they're powered by music with like a band. A whole band powers the whole entire soundtrack, or just one single artist does every song on the.
The voice actors themselves sing some songs.
Oh
in,
yes.
certain shows like idol shows, that type of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So soundtracks come in many forms, very different and not so different from how we do shit in America here, but for our cartoon shows and TV shows here. But either way, I figured we go round table like we did with our openings and endings episode, which Danny was not on, so we should do that episode again. Hit thumbs up if you want to hear another episode, if you want us to revisit that topic. But I'm going to start and get the ball rolling because I love talking about music. And this one I can talk about pretty quickly because there's not much to say because it's just fucking awesome. But we each picked three, we all picked a couple more, but we're talking mainly about three each. And my first pick is Fooly Cooly, the OG Fooly Cooly, obviously, because the new one's not out yet. But
FLCL for short.
The thing, FLCL, Fooly Cooly. The thing about Fooly Cooly is that 95 or so percent of its soundtrack is powered by the Pillows, the band The Pillows. They are a Japanese alternative rock band. They became a band in like 89. It's three guys, and it's like punk rock, funk fusion. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I guess you could compare them to like Red Hot Chili Peppers or Bush or even like REM maybe. No, not REM. I don't know. Anyway, they're great. The Pillows are great.
Don't ask me. I'm not.
The Pillows are awesome.
Sam is the
It's
music
alternative
expert.
It's alternative music. It's really great. It's really funny. It kind of really goes with the alternative nature of this show. Obviously, most of you have seen Fooly Cooly. If you haven't, then I think you're just fucking wrong. And
You're wrong.
You're probably not even.
You're
probably
wrong.
not even a person. And if you're a real person who hasn't seen Fooly Cooly, you probably eat your steak well done. And I don't want to talk to you or know you.
Damn.
So like, you're doing life wrong so far. You're doing it all wrong. If you're 28 years old and you're doing this stuff, then, whew. Anyway. The alternative nature of Fooly Cooly, it's a very weird anime. It's all over the place. This music is perfect for it.
Well, they made the music. They made the music first, and then they fit the animation to the music. That's what I read about.
Yeah, actually, about I want to say like maybe 65 or 70% of the Fooly Cooly soundtrack are songs that were taken from already previous records of the Pillows. The songs like Advice and Last Dinosaur were on Happy Bivouac, and the song Little Busters was on the record Little Busters. But anyway, It kind of fits because the Pillows are very like they fuse punk rock and funk and stuff, and a lot of punk rock bassists and funk bassists use the same bass that they made for Haruko, which is a Rickenbacker 4001 model. It's a really
Sounds like
cool
popcorn.
It's a really cool bass, and it's like 3,000. It's like a $800 bass, and I want one really bad. But no, it's fucking cool, dude. It's a fucking cool show. I don't really have to talk about this much. You should just go listen to it, and if you want to listen to it, you should just watch Fooly Cooly because they play the songs so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they play almost the whole song for some parts.
I would say,
especially.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was gonna say, in the last episode, especially during the last battle, they play like 3 whole songs.
Yeah.
Like complete.
It's almost like a big 6-episode music video.
Oh yeah, that's like God. That's the perfect way to say that. I should have just said that and moved on.
Fooly Cooly is like it's like a ride. You know, you're just kind of going on it, and it's like zooming along. You know, it's never.
Yeah.
It doesn't slow down too much. You know.
It's like
Yeah,
Space
yeah.
Mountain at Disney World.
It does slow
There you
down.
go.
Like it has these like perfectly placed moments of quietness, but
Yeah,
you're always interested. It's always cool shit happening.
There's those somber moments, and you hear just like a bass line. You know, it's like it's nighttime, people are going to bed, and you hear like that little boom ba doom doop doo doop boo bass line, and you're just chilling. I forget the name of that song, but my favorite track from the soundtrack is called Advice, and the one that the anime uses is the vocalist version, and it's really awesome. But anyway, you literally should just watch Fooly Cooly. If you haven't seen Fooly Cooly, then like I said, you probably put ketchup on your mac and cheese, and that's fucking gross. So go listen to the Pillows. You should watch Fooly Cooly. We're gonna. Oh, and by the way, Nick, when he makes the show notes, I'm sure he's gonna put the links that we have in our show notes in there, so you can go listen to them. But
Probably just like the big soundtrack. Like
yeah,
I don't want to overdo it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there were other mini jingles written for the show along with Shin Kenichi Mitsumune, who's another anime TV and anime composer. But pretty much the whole soundtrack is powered by the Pillows, and they're a great band. So, boom. Moving on. Who's going next?
I'll be the
Nick.
I'll be the cream in our little Oreo. All
That's
right.
really creepy. The way you said that.
We're gonna paint a pretty little mountain. Okay. So yeah, my first pick is no particular order. These are just 3 anime that came to mind. But my first one is Kaiji, the 2007 to 2011 anime, Kaiji
AKA
Ultimate
Nick's favorite
Survivor.
anime.
Yeah, and the sequel. And dude, yeah, it's one of those anime that I mention. You gotta take a drink every time I mention it because it's like every other fucking episode. So like, I don't know as much about music as Sam. I'm not like all hip with it and knowing all the bands. I'm doing the quote fingers right now, but you can't see that. And
Quote unquote.
oh yeah. So I'm doing that. I got just some basic info about the music. So basically, the music for the series was made by Hideki Taniyuchi, and he also did music for Death Note and Aoi Bangaku. Those are his more, and also Akagi, which is like the other version, the mahjong version of Kaiji. And then there's like opening and ending songs too. I think there's the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas did a. Yep, they did the second OP for Kaiji. There's a bunch of others. There's like it's kind of like all the openings and endings for the show are sort of punk rock, a little bit like Fooly Cooly a little bit, but less. They're like more pure, like old sounding. Than Fooly Cooly is kind of like a mix of different things, and this one's more like just kind of rock for the openings.
Fooly Cooly was very heavily powered by alternative rock.
Yeah.
Kaiji Ultimate Survivor kind of takes that route of just writing the song for the moments, and I think they used a lot of rock and a lot of Japanese sounds too in the rock.
I'm talking
And
about the
it's
OPs
like-
and EDs specifically.
Oh yeah.
But like in
definitely.
the actual OST, the one by Taniyuchi, he it's really like a moody OST. Like you don't put on Kaiji on your music playlist. You're not putting it on Spotify and listening to it at the gym or anything. Maybe a couple of the songs, but like it's really super like linked to the show. You have to kind of see the show to like the music more. It doesn't have like single
Yeah,
banger
it's
tracks.
It's like an average composition for a show.
Except better because it's fucking good.
Except it's really it's pretty good. 'Cause
Yeah.
my favorite track was just the Despair, or what they called the Despair.
yeah,
track.
yeah. There's a ton of them.
It's because it's not your average like Despair sounding kind of track. It's like actually kind of fast, and it's like, oh shit, like we gotta move, like
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's
God.
what I got
The
from it.
music is what makes the show. Because like honestly, if the show didn't have the such a great soundtrack, it would feel pretty slow. There's like they play these games. The whole point of Kaiji is gambling. He's fallen into a lot of debt. He has to go into this underworld gambling area and try to earn back his money, right? And by gambling, basically with his life. And the stakes are so like the thing that Kaiji does well is like the stakes are really high, but they're not like ridiculous. It's not like everyone's gonna die if you don't. It's like that it's within reason. So and people do like Kaiji faces consequences like every fucking time pretty much. So the music really enhances all that and makes it feel super thrilling. Like that's the best part of it. It's just like really, it's really like greasy feeling and like, ugh. It's like just like gutsy. Like that's how the music is in Kaiji. My personal favorite soundtrack for this one is the I like there's three of them that I like. I like the song called Wish, the other one called Phoenix, and the Kaiji theme. The Phoenix one is really good. That was in the second season, I think. It's kind of like this super uplifting and like epic song that plays during a pivotal moment, and it's like fucking you just like jump out of your seat and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like ping pong. It has a little bit of that vibe going on. Take a shot. I mentioned ping pong. All right. So yeah, that's my little pitch for Kaiji. It's carried by that soundtrack. It's fucking awesome.
Also, Nick did a show swap or a show pitch for Kaiji.
Oh, that was
way
like
back.
one of our first episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, you should go, if you want to like hear Nick really pitch that show. You should go listen to that, or you should just go watch Kaiji.
Or just
because Nick
you just kind of heard a little bit of a pitch.
yeah, just fucking watch it.
Yeah,
it's on my plan to watch.
It's
I know I'm gonna watch
26 episode series, so it's a little bit long, but like it's totally fucking awesome.
It's like a season 1, season 2.
It's like my personal favorite anime thriller. So
I have
take
Kaiji.
that for what you want.
I have Kaiji on hold right now. I started watching it, but then
it's something you got to
after-
marathon.
yeah, after I became a host, I kind of had to put it on hold because responsibilities and shit. So.
Because we told you to do other stuff.
Yeah,
So-
Danny.
But from what I have been watching, it's pretty epic. For
Yeah, they're just like fucking
for
playing
like a
cards.
gambling for like a gambling type show. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
So.
Super Eye Patch Wolf did a really great video on Kaiji, and he kind of described why it's so epic. Like they make drawing lots from a tissue box. They make that fucking epic. Like it's it's like the dumbest fucking games some of the time, and it's so fucking sweet. I love it. Yeah, so that's Kaiji. Danny's got the next one.
All right. So my first pick of my 3, I picked Escaflowne. Mainly the vision of Escaflowne, which is the title of the show, and then the movie is just called Escaflowne. So the music was composed by, it was a collab with Yoko Kanno and Hajime Misoguchi.
Misoguchi.
Misoguchi. I feel so bad because I butchered
dishonored that name.
these last names like so
Why can't they
bad.
just have
It's
easy
so
names like
terrible.
Yoko Kanno?
Yeah,
Just
I
make
know.
a name
Yoko
easy.
Kanno.
So, but the like, how do I explain this? The music for Escaflowne is just so. It's like the 1800s meets Evangelion. Like
Nice.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs.
like Berserk meets Escaflowne, pretty much. There's
Because
swords.
doesn't it take place
and
in like a It's like fantasy mechs.
Yeah, it's like very old, very fantasy, swords and shields and like, horseback riding, not like that's how they go from place to place and stuff like that. And like they have like aircrafts and stuff. So it's semi-futuristic but semi-medieval in a way. So especially like with all the buildings and the landscapes and stuff like that. So
there's a word for that. I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's like cyberpunk. That's not it. It's something else.
Yeah,
Sci-fi
I don't remember
fantasy.
it. I don't remember it. But anyway, it was composed by Yoko Kanno and Hajime. They did a collab, and they both did the show and the movie. And they composed and produced the series' musical themes and backgrounds, incorporating a variety of styles, including contemporary, classical, and Gregorian chant.
I like Gregorian chant. I like the name Gregorian.
Gregorian. Hold on. In case people want to know what Gregorian chant means.
I always think of like those Australian, what are those things called? The didgeridoos or whatever. I know that's not it, but that's what I think.
Yeah,
of.
the boing.
Yeah, that's what I think of, but I don't think that's what it is. Let's click on.
That's called the didgeridoo. Yeah, no, it's called the didgeridoo.
Oh yeah, it's just like.
Legit,
Well,
Gregorian
if you've heard Death Note, that's what it is.
Yeah, Gregorian chant is the central tradition of Western plain chant, a form of monophonic, unaccompanied sacred song of the Roman Catholic Church. So it's pretty much, like like a huge chorus. So
it's like a cappella. Like if in those like little middle cards in Death Note when they're doing the rules of the book.
Yes.
That's Gregorian chant.
Yeah. And that's actually one of my favorite tracks did I put that? Oh no, I didn't. But they do use the Gregorian chant a lot in that show, in the show and in the movie, especially when Vaughn is in Escaflowne, because all of a sudden, like once like that starts, like and Vaughn gets into the Escaflowne and like he does like a big battle and stuff, all you hear is Escaflowne. It's so it's so
that's the best song.
Awesome.
I love that one.
It's so freaking awesome.
In the choir, like
yeah. So, but
love that shit.
The difference between the show and the movie is that the show is a little bit more, I wouldn't say happy-go-lucky, but there's a lot less blood and darkness in the show. However, like the movie is very dark and ominous, especially once Vaughn gets into Escaflowne. So, which I kind of like in a sense, because it shows like how how Vaughn operates Escaflowne and all of the other mechs that all of the other soldiers do and everything like that. So, but a couple of my favorite tracks off of the whole thing, like of the show and the anime. There's Flying Dragon, which is there's a segment where Vaughn transforms Escaflowne into a dragon and he's flying in the sky and everything, which is pretty awesome. And memory of, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Phenalia. I'm just gonna go off a whim right there. But that...
Oh, it looks like a name. Phenelia?
Phenelia? I don't know. Memory of Phenelia. We'll just go with that.
Phenelia later, as Bart Simpson would say.
That...
And that's the show. I'm out.
All right. Bye, everyone. That track in particular is from the show. and it's kind of like it's kind of a music video, quote unquote. It does play in certain parts in the show, but on some of my DVDs that I have of the Vision of Escaflowne, they have like MVAs on the DVDs, and that is one of the tracks that they use to do like this little music video. So, and it's always been, and ever since I've seen it, it's always been my favorite. And the other track that I really like listening to is called Sora, and it's from the movie. It's a whole other segment. There's actual vocals in it. It's not just instrumental. The only instrumental track that I have on my favorites is Flying Dragon. There's no instrumental in it whatsoever. But I mean, my closing thought for Escaflowne is that, you know, the track itself, even if you listen to it by, like, you know, on its own or anything, you can just tell that what the theme of Escaflowne is just by listening to the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's my thought.
Okay, nice. And we all know that's one of your favorites too.
Yes, it is one of my favorites.
Okay,
Majority,
so-
Drink. Danny mentioned it.
most of all my picks that I chose are my top favorites.
Sure. All the ones that I chose are actually, I mean, they're up there, but they're definitely not ones that I would have thought I would be talking about when we did this episode. But anyway, my second pick is My Hero Academia. As you know, I just started watching it only like a couple months ago, and I caught up just in time to start season 3. I love this fucking show, number 1. Number 2, the soundtrack is done by composer Yuki Hayashi. Number 3, I do think, and I don't know, okay, I don't know for sure, but I do think that Yuki Hayashi, if you look at his resume, he does a lot of TV, a lot of dramas on television. His resume on just TV by itself is probably his resume of movies and anime combined.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done so much TV.
Oh, he did Haikyuu. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. He also did Haikyuu and Death Parade, Kisniver. He did some One Piece movies. His resume is huge, okay? And the kind of composer this guy is that he's an arranger. So he does this stuff. He does music specifically for visual media entertainment, like TV and anime and movies.
That's
and
like
shit like
that's
that.
like with Yoko Kanno. Yoko Kanno does like everything.
Yeah. Yoko Kanno is
she-
also just like a straight up composer too.
Yeah, she's
But,
a straight up
yeah.
gangster.
Yeah. So Yuki Hayashi, I do believe that he, and I don't know this, I'm just guessing, but I really do think that he took into consideration of the kind of music that's currently being composed for epic superhero movies here in America. I also just watched Infinity War too, by the way. If you've seen any of the Avengers movies, the soundtrack to any of those movies are pretty good. A lot of stuff in My Hero Academia, although it has that urgent Japanese sounding melodies in a lot of its music, it also has those very epic trumpets and brass instruments coming through and shit. And also, you know, guitar and bass and drums when needed for those hardcore moments.
Yeah.
He's gotten, like, I don't know. I the music in My Hero Academia, though, specifically, other than having its basic TV arrangements for, like, you know, like there's dopey sounding melodies for funny moments. There's training montage sounding songs, you know, and like the basic stuff like that. The reason I chose it is because of the epic moments. So the All Might theme when he comes in and saves everyone is like dun 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 dun, you know, like really heroic and like whatever. But my favorite track
to save the day.
with a smile, yeah, dude, it's cool. I'm here. We got this. Got you, fam. But like my favorite track though is called You Say Run, which is if you listen to the soundtrack, there is a there is a the Kimi wa Hiro ni Nareru, which is You Can Be a Hero. The track You Say Run is just like a fast, serious version of that song. And you can hear it when Midoriya and Todoroki are fighting at the UA Sports Festival. That's that song. That's my favorite song. It takes the You Can Be a Hero chorus and puts it in a fast-paced, like, high urgency, like, kind of battle-sounding song. And it's just fucking, I don't know, it's badass. I love it. But other than that, there's really not much to say about it because it's like your basic arrangement for this kind of show. But if you compare it to like the superhero movies, especially the Marvel Cinematic ones we have here in America, you can kind of tell that he tried to create that same sense of epic trumpets and orchestra and stuff like that, and then all that noise. So I think it's really fucking awesome. My Hero Academia soundtrack. My favorite track is You Say Run. Go listen to it. There's also a bunch of there's also a shit ton of awesome like remixes of that shit on YouTube by all kinds of DJs and people.
I like
So
how
you should
everyone
go listen
memes
to
up
that
the
too.
OP and ED. They're like, it fits with everything.
Oh yeah. You know what? The OPs and EDs aren't too much to me for My Hero, but the season 3 opening I really like right now.
I like the sound. I like the song of it, but it doesn't match the visuals at all. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's a good
that
song.
is,
Shit. I don't know.
That is Odd Future by Uberworld, if you want to know that one. But yeah, I like it. Fucking awesome. I love My Hero Academia. Episode 4 was really crazy. Holy shit. Go watch that shit.
1,000,000%. That's what happened.
Fart
It
everywhere.
was great.
All right, go ahead.
That was a good episode, though. Okay.
No to your neck.
Notes. Yeah. Speaking of No Tear Nick, one of the few shows to make me shed a tear. Aria. Aria, the animation, the natural, and the origination, and then a couple of other OVAs. This is a 2005-2008 show by I think it's HAL Filmmaker and Junichi Sato, the guy who did Sailor Moon. And basically,
Awesome.
yeah, oh yeah,
That's
it's
very
fucking.
sweet.
He's like the legend of the Yashike, healing genre, and shows with cute girls doing stuff. Like he's like he's like the ultimate pinnacle right there. Bam. Let me just double check that it was him though. I'm gonna cut this part out really quick. I'm pretty sure it was Junichi something. But yeah, Junichi Sato. Yep, I got that right. So Aria. Whoa, take a drink, everybody. I mentioned it again. It's so this is like, in my opinion, the best healing slice of life anime that I've seen. I'm pretty deep in. There's a lot that I still haven't seen, but this is the best one so far. And the soundtrack for Aria is by Takeshi Sanu and Koro Club, which I couldn't find a lot of info on them. There's a couple of reviews and stuff, but it's like really, there's not a ton of info that I could find immediately. Maybe I just didn't dig far enough. Basically, they did Aria and a few other things. And the reason that I'm picking Aria is because the soundtrack is just like, it's like Kaiji, but the opposite, right? Where Kaiji is super thriller, Aria is super calming, and like the soundtrack makes you calm. It makes, this one I would put on my iPod if I still had one, because it's just like you feel serene, and it matches every scene really well, and like it flows into the openings and endings, and it's like, they're in a paradise, and the soundtrack really reflects that. So that's why I'm picking Aria. I know you guys haven't seen it yet, so can't really say anything.
It's
but
on my plan to watch.
it's a long ass show. I mean, I would recommend, if you're watching Aria, the best way to watch it, objectively the best way. Never marathon this show, ever. Never ever marathon Aria. I don't care if that's how you watch shows normally. Don't do it. Just watch like maybe one or two episodes a day at most. Like maybe right before you go to sleep or any time during the day. And that's like the perfect way to watch it, because it's like a super, down to earth, pleasant show that has like these nice little light themes, and it's really, really good. So, that's my pick, Aria. It's got really good openings and endings. I love all of them. My personal favorite is the natural Aria, the natural ED, the ending for that one. It's got these birds floating around. And yeah, like the show, it's cool because like it almost feels like the soundtrack doesn't ever really stop for Aria. It's like always going on a little bit, and then it flows into the opening and ending. It's like, oh.
Well, that's how you know it's a good show. Like if the soundtrack and all the compositions that the composer and the engineers for all the recordings are accountable for, and it flows through the show, then it's a great show regardless.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, a lot of anime
Yeah,
do a pretty decent job of that, to be fair. But
Yeah, it carries you through the show or whatever. That's it.
and like the cool thing is the opening songs for Aria, they didn't actually make any openings. They just kind of play the opening song as they're, as they're going through Neo Venetia and meeting people. And there's actually like some dialogue in the middle of the openings and stuff. And so every single opening has different visuals to it because it's just going through the story. So it's really cool.
sweet. And that's a perfect segue for my second pick, which is Cowboy Bebop. I mean,
The gold standard.
the golden stamp of like best soundtrack ever. So, and it was composed by Yoko Kanno. Again, like another pick of mine. So,
Yeah.
and she formed the band Seatbelts that
The
that
Seatbelts,
that wrote the opening theme, which is Tank, and majority of the whole entire track, which it's kind of pretty. It's pretty much kind of like Fooly Cooly in a way, because all the tracks are kind of pretty much performed by the Seatbelts. So, and Yoko Kanno, she did like a shit ton of composing for other shows. Like she did Darker Than Black, she did The Vision of Escaflowne, Wolf's Rain, Ghost
Macross Frontier.
Macross Frontier, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex. She did it all, man. And
Trigun and Gungrave.
yeah, she did. Yeah, like she did so much.
Was she
So-
like accused of plagiarism at one point? I think I remember reading that. It's a little bit of
I
a
can't-
it's a little bit of
I
a
can't-
showstopper.
I can't really.
I feel like she had to deal with some
verify-
kind of like
I
lawsuit
can't really
at one
verify that, so
Let's see.
I can't really say. But I mean the opening theme for Cowboy Bebop is like one of the most popular songs out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I've even on YouTube, like I've seen high school bands and marching bands play Tank, and they play it really well, if I might add. So and it's just and that theme alone, it just shows what you're really getting into with Cowboy Bebop. It's based on space cowboy themed in a sense, bounty hunter. And whenever I think of that, or even when I don't watch a space theme like Cowboy Bebop and I hear jazz and blues, I automatically think of Yoko Kanno's Seatbelts and everything like that, like especially with the alto sax and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I can listen to the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack any time of the day.
Put that on repeat.
Even listening it into my car and stuff. Both the opening and ending themes to the show are my favorites. I think the Real Folk Blues is my top, and Rain. Like I love Rain. That song with when Spike is falling out of the church.
episode 5. Yep.
That song, that hits me. I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the songs are really good. Like, any one of these
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
like the top song for any given anime, and they're all in the same anime, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite
yeah.
is Space Lion, the one that was in the Jupiter. Is it Jupiter Jazz?
Jupiter
Those like
Jazz
middle
Part Two.
episodes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Space Lion's my favorite one. Woo!
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
Really
that.
good.
Pot City. The Pot City soundtrack is pretty good too.
I do like the Real Folk Blues. Yeah, her band that she made for this, the Seatbelts, they're an awesome band. They're super sick.
Yeah. She's the front
yeah.
woman. She's the front woman for that band too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
which I think
Yeah.
I think it's pretty great. You know, you form a band just to compose the music for a TV show. That's like
It's also
Queen.
just like just a fun fact before I take my last turn is the members of the Seatbelts. The main members are obviously the Japanese members, where they originally formed, but they also have a New York Seatbelts and a Paris Seatbelts as well.
oh sweet.
Yeah, so there are members here in America and then members in Paris. So that's really fucking cool. I mean, obviously, when Yoko Kanno comes to perform here, she doesn't have to bring everyone and their mother that's in the Japanese.
Yeah, she can just go.
the
She can
Japanese
just go
roster.
to like wherever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Also, to segue into mine, actually, Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts also did 2 tracks that feature the vocals of Emily Bindiger that were on Cowboy Bebop, and that was the songs "Adieu" and "Flying Teapot." The reason I bring that up is because 2 or 3 of the tracks on my third and final pick on the original soundtrack for Dot Hack Sign feature Emily Bindiger.
Oh, this is
as
my
well.
favorite of your picks. I like this one.
This sound. You have to understand
Did
something.
you pick this
When
OP in your OP list, Sam? And if
I
not,
think
why
we-
the fuck not?
I might have. I don't remember. I want to redo.
I
that,
know
so
some.
maybe.
I know you picked one, and like, yeah, I didn't want to say it in the episode, but one of them was kind of fucking trash. It should have been replaced with this. 'Cause this OP is
so,
great.
like,
This is a great OP.
This OP is really awesome. The composition for Dot Hack Sign was done by Yuki Kajiura. She's done a lot of composing and arranging for all kinds of anime. She's also done Sword Art Online, and Fate Zero.
Well, it makes sense. That
Yeah, Madoka-
completely makes sense. Like right there.
Right, yeah. Madoka Maguka and Aquarian Age Mahime. It's just that, in my opinion, the SAO soundtrack is kind of cool. I dig it, whatever.
Yeah, SAO is a good soundtrack.
But, yeah, it's sick.
That's about it.
But
Yeah.
I just think,
kidding.
in my opinion, the Dot Hack Sign soundtrack is just way better.
Oh yeah, dude. I watched like part of the first episode. I'm like, well, this is already better.
Yeah. The songs that feature Emily Bindiger are Key of the Twilight, Fake Wings, and there's another one. But they feature American lyrics. So Emily Bindiger was hired to be the vocalist of those songs. So the main thing about this soundtrack is that it's Celtic style music fused with some techno and techno trance in some songs, to kind of mesh fantasy and virtual reality. A lot of the game that's featured in Dot Hack, which is called The World, a lot of the environments of like the towns and stuff are borrowed from Roman and Celtic architectural structures. So when she made it, she made the style to be Celtic, the music to be kind of have a Celtic sound to it. The Celtic sound is really prevalent in the songs like Key of the Twilight, the ending theme especially, and Fake Wings, because Fake Wings uses like a bard's guitar. It also uses a gigaharp. If you don't know what a gigaharp is,
sounds
that's
dope.
That's the big fucking harp that you put on your shoulder and you use both your hands. That's what the gigaharp is. This is my favorite fucking soundtrack. My favorite track is Key of the Twilight with Emily Bindiger. It's fucking amazing. If you don't ever watch Dot Hack Sign, which I think you should, if you haven't yet, you're probably a little bish. But like, if you don't watch it, you should listen to at least the opening theme, the ending theme, Key of the Twilight, and Fake Wings. Those songs right there are like, they perfectly summarize like the rest of it. Like it's the soundtrack. It's really fucking awesome. I really love it. I love the style, the Celtic style, the dum da dum da, you know, like and all that shit. I love it. It's fucking great. There's even ocarina. There's ocarina use in it. It's fucking crazy. Some crazy shit. It's my favorite shit. I love it. I love that shit. It's fucking great. Fuck, goddamn it. Done. It's over. That's how it's done.
Everyone
son.
take a shot on how many times Sam says, "I love it. Go watch that shit."
I love that shit. But no, seriously, listen to those 4 songs, and then you should just watch the anime. If you don't ever watch it, those 4 songs for sure. But yeah, I love that soundtrack. I listened to it when Dot Hack Sign was done on Toonami when I was younger. My friend JP like downloaded the soundtrack off of some shareware program, and he burned it for me, and I had it in my CD player for probably a good like couple months. I fucking love it. It's great.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, queen.
Yes,
All right,
queen.
Nick.
All right, so after you guys have gotten your say, my final one is a little show I think a few people have watched. Dragon Ball Z, bitch. Woo! I screamed really loud there. Woo! Probably peaked that a little bit. Okay.
No, I'll just leave it.
I was gonna pick something artsy and stupid, all right? But come on, Dragon Ball Z,
Artsy and
the
stupid.
English version with Bruce Faulkner
specifically-
soundtrack.
Yeah,
Specifically.
specifically the Bruce Faulkner soundtrack.
Oh my
commissioned
God.
by-
So good. And I think what happened is like his soundtrack didn't technically start until like episode 60 or something like that. But once it did, it was on fucking fire because this soundtrack like saved the show. You know how slow Dragon Ball Z is? Like it started the meme of like 10 episodes later something happens, right? Because like that's what it is. That's what the show is. But it's fucking awesome still. And the music like it kept pumping up the atmosphere, right? That's why you need his soundtrack for Dragon Ball Z. I don't want to listen to no hokey pokey, pinky pokey, Japanese soundtrack for this with an old lady with some old lady screaming. No, that's a good version of it. I'm talking about their shitty fucking battles. Fuck, I've like watched some YouTube videos of the Japanese version with the battles.
not, yeah.
It's like the dumbest fucking music. I'm sorry, it's fucking terrible. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's not that hype. It's like
yeah.
like when Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time.
like,
in the Japanese version, it's like na 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 na. Like it's so
That's
okay.
so
that's stupid.
fucking bad. I'm sorry.
And especially in the Gohan versus Cell moment when they're shooting the Kamehamehas at each other. The Bruce Falconer track on that moment is so fucking epic.
Oh my
like,
god, was that which
that-
theme was that? Like Mystic Gohan?
It was the
or-
piano, the little piano where it's like. Okay,
Okay, I don't have the song name for that. I have a few different ones. I have like Vegeta.
And Vegeta shoots him, and then that's when the piano comes in, and then Goku's like, "Now, go now."
Yeah.
And then Gohan, yeah,
Dude,
fucking sick.
I will say though that the Japanese did have the best opening. The Shala, Kamshala, whatever. That was fucking
Shala.
classic. Yeah, that's really good. But like,
Yeah.
goddamn, dude, Bruce Faulkner saved this fucking show. Like, do you know how many people will watch the show if it didn't have that good of a soundtrack? Not that many. It'd be like Bleach. People would fucking forget about it. Sorry, Bleach, but nobody fucking cares anymore. All right.
Sorry, Bleach. Nobody fucking cares anymore.
Jeez.
I'm just throwing shade. I've actually never watched Bleach, so I can't even say. But dude, I put this shit. This is how you work out. This is how you know it's a good soundtrack. Is people at the gym are wearing Dragon Ball Z shirts and shit, and that they got that stuff on their playlist, right? Like the Vegeta
Right.
Super Saiyan theme, and like he's like, I can't even fucking do it. Like Sam, how do you describe this? Like, no. How do you describe it? Like it's not. It's like a synth. 90s something fucking I don't know what music genre.
Yeah, I don't know. He just he used a lot of that. What is it?
It's got a lot of
I think
bells.
it's called,
It's like
he used
synthetic
a lot of-
orchestra or something. I don't know.
He used that fucking Korg 800 with a lot of other kind of instruments. There's a lot of guitar.
Well, what?
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
guitar.
There's a lot of bass. There's a lot of bass when they're flying to the battle, and it's like that eminency before. It's like the doom. Do. It's like
yeah,
oh, shit.
yeah, dude. It's fucking
they're
sick.
they're flying to that
Dude.
shit. They're about to.
And like when they meet the
some shit up.
dragon, it's so fucking epic. Like they got this
Yeah,
guitar
yeah.
solo going. And it's like, "Bow, It's like so fucking sweet, dude. Oh my god. How do you not love
Right.
this soundtrack? Like, you don't even have to like Dragon
Right.
Ball Z. Just put this shit on your playlist.
I would say the best, some of the best moments to get a feel of how Bruce Faulconer wrote it is watch when Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time. Watch when Vegeta turns
Watch what
Super Saiyan
Vegeta
for the
does.
first
That's
time.
a fucking sick. The perfect cell theme.
Yep, and then watch when Vegeta fights Android 19, and then watch when Gohan and Cell are shooting the Kamehamehas at each other right at the very end of that. Like, those are like the best moments in my opinion for like, I don't know, like the music is fucking.
Dude, the Super Saiyan 3 power up too. That was fucking sick. And anytime they meet the dragon. Best part, man.
Yep, for sure. So Danny's got one more, right?
My last one is one of my personal favorites, and we're doing and we're reading the manga for our manga book club, which is Oh My Goddess. But I'm doing the 2005 TV series. I'm not doing and the movie as well, which the movie came out before the TV show. And the music, the openings, especially for the second season, which the second season is called Flights of Fancy. The opening for the second season is one of my absolute favorites because of the is it called an accordion? No, it's not an accordion. Bagpipes. In the beginning of the song. Wikipedia names the song the title of the song is called "The Color of Joy" in English, but on YouTube it's "The Color of Happiness." So it's either way. If you input "The Color of Joy" or "The Color of Happiness" and you put "Oh My Goddess" as the keyword, it'll still pop up. But that OP, like with those with the bagpipes, it just accentuates and it makes sense on what the show is about, and Oh My Goddess is a slice of life fantasy rom-com, which I personally love, and I'm so happy that we're reading it, and every time I'm reading it, like each chapter, it just makes me want to watch it again.
So far I'm enjoying the manga a lot.
It's so good. And
I do have the first volume of the 2005 version too on DVD. I found
I'm
it.
so jealous.
It's one of the things that I found in the box that Mario gave me.
I'm so
But,
jealous.
yeah.
Oh, you have the OVA too.
I have the OVA too. Yep.
But the music was composed by Shiro Hamaguchi. He composed both the first and second season. He collabed with Nobuo Uematsu, who does he's the game composer, and he's notably for his notable
Final
work
Fantasy.
is the Final Fantasy franchise. He collabed with him for the movie soundtrack, and
That's awesome.
The movie, oh my god, the movie soundtrack is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I own the movie, and I love the movie so much. And majority of all my favorite tracks are on the movie soundtrack. So, anyone who is anybody, should watch this show.
Anyone who's
Like,
if you exist,
if
watch
you
it.
Yeah, seriously.
Even if you don't, fucking start existing, bitch.
if you're a fly, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, before I continue on Oh My Goddess, I just want to mention, because I forgot to mention to it while I was talking about Cowboy Bebop. If you're not even an anime watcher, for Cowboy Bebop, and you're just strictly a fan of, you know, jazz and blues, I highly recommend, you know, recommending it to those certain people, because if they're really influenced on, you know, jazz and rhythm and blues, they will love this show just because of the music that's in it. Okay, going back to Oh My Goddess. Yeah, like one of my favorite tracks for this show for Oh My Goddess is Song of Angels, which is the not the ending credits of the show. It's the I want to say it's the quote unquote final battle on what happens in the movie, and all the goddesses, you know, Belldandy, and Skuld, they just like sing in unison, and it's just so pretty, and you know, it's very, I want to say, like, the whole entire soundtrack for both the show and the movie is very, it reminds me of like Disney's Hercules, like especially with Mount Olympus and everything. It's very,
oh yeah,
it's
I always
very,
quote the witches.
Yeah, it's very majestic.
What's wrong with these scissors?
I
say every time I have a pair of scissors, I have to say that line. I'm not kidding.
Now
the thread of fate won't cut.
Now every time I have a pair of scissors, I'm just gonna think of you, Nick, quoting that.
Oh, good. So it's like a down the line. It's like a Purple
Yeah.
Monkey dishwasher thing.
It's like Inception.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. That's what I meant.
Domino
Scary
effect.
Terry. Yeah.
Domino effect.
So yeah, Oh My Goddess
But-
is you recommend?
Yeah,
So,
no, I definitely like top tier.
No,
highly
Sam, she
recommend.
doesn't recommend it. Jesus Christ.
Everyone take a drink. She mentioned Oh My Goddess.
Sam, you're like, so do you recommend it?
So like you're saying like I don't know, don't watch it. Like
But Shihiro Hamaguchi, he's also done. He hasn't done a lot of composing, but what he's best known for is composing some of the music for One Piece as well. So, and he also does like a lot of arranging and orchestrating for the Final Fantasy franchise as well, which I think
Right on.
Nice.
I still gotta play Final Fantasy.
it actually makes sense after I researched that he did a collaboration with Nobuo for the movie soundtrack because of how majestic and fantasy like the entire show is. And Sam, you should know already because you're reading the manga, and just by me like explaining the composition for the music and everything, it totally makes sense on why.
oh, for sure. Yeah.
On why Shiro was picked to compose the music for the show. So
I watched the
but-
first episode of it, and it was mildly interesting.
it's
I gotta
awesome.
catch up to it.
I
The first
love the
episode
first-
didn't have a ton of soundtrack for the first episode.
Yeah, well, the first episode is pretty much an introduction on what's going to happen
Yeah.
throughout the entire show.
Well, why can't it be like that hex sign, Danny? Why can't it just have music the whole time?
I don't know.
I'm
It's
just
not-
kidding.
So obviously we have some ones that we want to mention because
Oh, dude, we gotta mention a couple of composers. So there's like a Mount Rushmore, Mount Olympus, or whatever of like
Right,
anime
yeah.
composers. One of them we didn't really talk about was Hiroyuki Sawano.
who was our husbando?
Oh, we did talk about. What the fuck? All right, well, edit that out. Don't make me sound dumb. All right. Dude, Hiroyuki Sawano is like a god. I know everyone always complains that his soundtracks all sound the same, but I don't give a fuck. All right? I like
Oh
it.
shit!
Kill la Kill is a goddamn masterpiece. And that was going to be one of mine. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Dragon Ball Z. All right, but anyway, Hiroyuki
Dragon Ball
Sawano.
Z.
Dude, the drops. It's so epic. If you want something epic, hire that man. Do it.
Hire that man.
Yeah, actually, Yuki Hayashi, who did the My Hero Academia one, he collabed with Sawano for Triangle, which I've never seen. But yeah, it's It's cool.
Yeah, Sam. He
Hiroyuki
also did
Sawano's-
Death Parade, which you still gotta watch. What the fuck?
Yeah, I do.
You haven't seen Death Parade, Sam?
Yeah,
No.
Danny,
What
let's
is
gang
wrong
up
with
on.
you?
Let's gang up on Sam.
Come on.
We're gonna send you to the void or the other one, whatever one's bad. Nobody actually knows which
Sam-
elevator is bad,
Sam,
but it's okay.
if you and I do a show swap in the future, that's the show that you have to watch.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, Sam, and I'm gonna make you watch Kaiba, you bitch.
God damn it. Okay.
And then Danny, you're gonna watch Tatami Galaxy one of these days.
Tatami Galaxy.
I'm gonna
Nice.
hold your eyes
I'm not
open
going
like
on
that
that.
movie. What is it?
But yeah, no,
Memento?
like Hibernate Renmei, Macross Frontier, those are great OSTs
Oh,
too. Those
dude.
are great soundtracks.
I was gonna do Macross Frontier, like fucking Idols. I had that shit as my gym music for a while. I'm not even kidding. So good, dude.
You're probably asking yourself, and take a shot because I'm gonna say it. You're probably wondering why I didn't put the Nadesco soundtrack on here. To be perfectly honest,
Was it even
the
that good?
Nadesco soundtrack isn't really that.
Yeah, whatever. It had a good OP.
It's meh.
Yeah, like it wasn't. There wasn't too much.
This isn't what's your
writing-
favorite anime. It's what's your soundtracks that you like.
Yeah. So like, I'm just saying, people are probably wondering why I didn't choose that because I love it so much. But like, it's not that I love the OP and I love the ED and I love the Geki Ganger 3 song, but like the rest of it, and I love the orchestrated version of the OP too. But the rest of it is kind of just like it's whatever. But I'm also Evangelion. Like, I
Oh
would be
God.
remiss-
See, yeah, I didn't want to overdo that because that's like my favorite show, and like
We'd be remiss if we didn't say
that
it,
just
though,
like
you
wins
know.
every category for me.
Yeah.
Like, what's your
Yeah.
favorite comedy? Evangelion.
That's kind of like with Fruits Basket for me. Like I love the Fruits Basket soundtrack.
Take a shot.
Oh My Goddess and Fruits Basket.
The
R.I.P.
Fruits Basket
And yeah,
sound-
Mushi Pedal.
But come on, Sam, you gotta agree with me. Like the Fruits Basket soundtrack is so adorable and it's so funny.
It is really
You know,
good.
it has a like.
I do love Fruits
It has a
Basket.
lot of like the quirkiness of Japan, like the doing like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking
Yeah.
of Tuturu, Steins Gate, which we just talked about. That's why I didn't pick it, but that is a really fucking good soundtrack.
Steins Gate?
You know what I'm
you know what?
saying?
I should listen to it. But I mean,
Are
yeah,
you serious, dude? Like every it's so epic.
So
By the way, I just found the Dragon Ball Z soundtrack thing. It's Gohan Angers. That's the one where he's fighting Cell, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Woo!
Fucking sick. Anyway,
Ping Pong the
There you
animation.
go.
That's my other one.
there you have.
Everybody
Ping
take
pong.
5 shots. Just
Yeah,
said it.
take 5 shots for Ping Pong the animation. Anyway, we hope this kind of
Masterpiece.
inspires you to. Shut the fuck up. We hope this
doing
kind
the
of
donkey
inspires
thing.
you to listen to the music when you're watching anime a little more closely now, because like obviously it matters way more than you think it does. You're just not thinking about it because it carries your show so well, you
Yeah.
know. So get cracking. Also, it's also important to note too that I totally forgot to say, the pillows are returning for FLCL 2 and 3. So
Oh yeah, yep.
when we talk about FLCL 2 and 3, I will be talking about the pillows 100% when that happens.
A couple of more Mount Rushmores. Susumu Hirasawa did Berserk soundtrack.
No, I'm doing a closing statement. No.
And one more. The guy,
No, I'm-
Joe Hisaishi, Ghibli.
I was
Boom.
in the middle of my closing statement. No,
That's
you're
my
done.
closing statement.
Okay, Joe Hisaishi. Yeah, fine. Right, but I'm doing like the end of the. You fucked it
Kaja,
up.
we already
Okay.
mentioned. All right.
You're fired, but you're rehired. Okay. Anyway, hopefully this inspires you to listen to the music more closely. Get cracking on that shit. Okay. Links in the show notes for you to listen to our favorite shit, and blah blah blah. You'll love it. It's great. Obviously, we love it, and we know everything because we're the best. So fuck you. Drop the mic on that shit. Anyway, we've been the Anime Summit podcast. I've been Sam. She's been Danny. He's been No Tier Nick. Too Slick. Big Dick.
Thick Dick Nick.
And we've been the Anime Summit podcast.
Nick,
With
you're
2 Cs.
disgusting.
Thick with
Nick,
2
you're
Cs.
disgusting. You're gross.
With 2 C's.
All right. I got to hit my end button here. Click.